Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Houston Element Podcast. My name is Missy. Yeah.
H-Town, man.
H-Town.
Gotta put some respect on that.
Thank you. I'm here with a special guest meeting us from afar, but not too far. Meeting us from Fort Worth, Texas, our neighboring town. Shout out to them. We have recording and performing artist, Supah Sayin.
How are you doing, Missy?
Good, man. How's it going, man?
Going well. It's going well. Like I said earlier, the rain, but, we're surviving. Did you see all that footage from Fort Worth this morning?
No, I didn't, man. How's it going over there?
Oh, my gosh. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Like, I don't know exactly which block it is, but there's a block that's like literally under like 7 feet of water or something. I think it's over by the airport, the Dallas-Fort Worth airport.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah.
So I think they said 7 feet of rain in the last 24 hours. That's crazy.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Texas don't know what it is to have just a little or just enough.
Yep.
I'm telling you,
oh
man.
My gosh.
It's either too much or nothing, man. I swear. Lord of mercy.
One day it's like super dry and arid and hot. And then the next day it's all muggy and still hot. Walk outside, you feel like you can't breathe.
Man, this is a wrong place to be an asthmatic, friend. It's a wrong place.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So tell us about yourself, man. How'd you get into this music game, man? What started the passion?
Honestly, I was a kid. I grew up, lived in my room, basically, Bo Burnham type stuff. But that was my outlet, I couldn't go and do anything. We didn't have any money to take me anywhere. The nearest town was 7 miles away. So I was just jamming out. Honestly, one of the best memories I have of that time is listening to 808s and Heartbreaks for the first time and just singing my heart out.
Yes.
Singing my heart out. The old Kanye. The new.
Said what he said. Yes. And so you take inspiration, you call yourself, in other words, psychedelic rapper. So can you tell us a little bit about what is the inspiration behind your name, your style, and your lyrics?
Well, I mean, in the beginning, I was a little basic, I was trying to be mainstream, but then, I really started coming into myself. I've been working on music for like 10 years. Mm-hmm. First song that I ever put out was in 2013. And that was on some completely other folk indie rock almost. But started to develop the passion for hip hop and rap and, just like diving into it. And at some point, I just decided like I want to do this. And people always told me I had a good voice, so figured why not do something with it. But I don't know. I, at one point, decided I'm going to take myself a little more seriously. And instead of like just making, generic stuff, saying generic stuff, I'm going to try to speak with message, that isn't push and pee or stuff like that. Shouts out to them. They got their own wave going on. But in the same instance, there needs to be a little bit of balance. There needs to be some people speaking up, saying some stuff. There are definitely people out there doing it. I just don't feel like it's as in the spotlight, and people resonate with it. The fact that people like, XXXTentacion, Juice WRLD, freaking Lil Peep, the fact that they even have the cult following. And it's a shame that it keeps on being unfilled. But, somebody else will step up to the plate and will take those great inspirations and, make their own way. But as far as the psychedelia, I was raised by a hippie. So, my mom, she's a flower child till death. But I don't know, I just really resonated with that my whole entire life. And then around the time that I met my stepdad, he started getting me into Eastern kind of thinking, Buddhism, Hinduism, not necessarily like the practice of like praying or giving manifestations to a god, but just like the lifestyle aspects more than anything. And also the metaphysical aspects that they incorporate into their, lifestyle / religions.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't know. I just see the way that people talk about science, especially people who understand what they're talking about, physics, astrophysics, metaphysics, and I really think that it lines up for me specifically, with everything that I've experienced and understand. So I don't know. It's how some people are Christian rappers. I'm a psychedelic rapper, if you will. It's a new age.
I can dig it, man. You seem to be pretty well-rounded in a lot of different, things, not just what's inside your immediate bubble.
Yeah. I try to, embrace a lot of different things all the time. I'm constantly trying to learn. I feel like if you're not learning every day, you're stagnant, so I just try to be a good human being. Honestly, the fact that we even have our collective consciousness in the palm of our hands, there's so many people who don't use that. There's so many people who neglect it completely. So why not? We got it there, might as well, And also another thing, going back to people, pushing more trendy stuff. I feel like a lot of people have platforms that they don't use to speak about things that they could. And that's another reason why I talk about some of the things that I do, because I know that other people won't talk about them, or, I just decided that's what's on the menu this week.
No, but that is true, though. That is very true, though. It's there's a lot of things that are on people's minds that they're afraid to talk about, or they just don't know the words to get it out there. And it's crazy.
Exactly. I had a lot of trouble doing that for a long time, especially with music. It's been 10 years coming now. So the first 5 years of work, was just it was what it was, and it was good for what it was. But I'm glad to be elevating and getting into myself more, starting to formulate my thoughts a lot better, and being able to, like you said, speak about those things and in the exact way that I want to.
Yes. And to be glad to... Yes.
I feel like everybody's a little basic, I don't know. It's whenever a really popular TV show comes on and everybody's to engage in the society, you kind of have to like things that are of the society or trending in society, But I just say basic because in the beginning, I wasn't as focused on my message, also not being me. I was more focused on not necessarily getting famous or blowing up, but just being in that spotlight. I wanted it so bad. Not even, I don't know. I've had a couple of instances with not fame, but the first time I ever played a live crowd was for my high school, and there were around 2,000 to 5,000 people there. And as soon as I walked on stage, I shit a brick. But literally 10 seconds later, I was getting down, And so I've kind of been just chasing that same high my whole life, Nothing will ever be as good as that until I'm playing a stadium or something, And it just keeps me going. I really want it a lot. And I think that I have a better grasp on myself now. So if I did get a position like that, or I did get an opportunity to do something like that, I wouldn't waste it like maybe my past self, my basic self would have,
Yeah.
I'm glad though, because honestly, taking that time, I fleshed out my music a lot. I fleshed out my thoughts, but I also learned a lot of the industry side of things. For the longest time, I was super focused on the musical aspect and the artistry. I praised it. I was I don't even know, some kind of art critic or something. But now I'm kind of mellowing down. Things are okay. I can not necessarily mess up, but I don't have to make it perfect every single time. I'm such a perfectionist. It's It's ridiculous. Like last night, I literally stayed up to like 6 o'clock this morning working on a song just to make it sound like a couple of decibels lower than it was. But, you know, that's just me.
No, it's not just you. I'm that way too, man. Since doing a podcast, you know, going to school for audio, you know, people think, you know, oh, you're going to record musicians. And that's part of it too, you know what I'm saying? But when you're mixing dialogue, everything is out in the open. I'll spend forever EQing that thing. I'll be like, nope, get that out of there. Get it. Get it.
Cut. Splice.
Yeah.
Remove.
Oh, splicing, bro. You're going to bring up PTSD for me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Man. I feel you. I definitely feel it. Not even just music, but the videos as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, God. And 8-hour runs.
And we're lucky because back in the day, our ancestors had to use the tape.
Mm-hmm. They could just cut it real easily. Now it's all digital. You have to microscopic zoom that shit.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, back then, the tape, if you cut it wrong, you had to glue it back, roll it back again, find it, get it just right. Oh, Lord. We're spoiled today.
Yeah, we are. We definitely are. The fact that we can pick up our cell phones and record anything, take pictures at any point in time, learn anything like we were talking about earlier, contact anybody within our grasp, really.
Yes.
Yeah. Cell phones, even for me, like, you know, I haven't been around that long, but I don't know. It's just crazy to think about. It's crazy to see too. Growing up, by the time I was 16, like I hadn't even had a cell phone yet. And now I'm seeing like 3-year-olds and stuff walking around with iPads. And it's like,
yes,
it's brainwashing you.
Yes. Oh my God. Like, how many of y'all know how to hula hoop? Raise your hand. Like, nothing. Pigeons.
I'm not good at it, but I know how to do it.
Right. Like saying, like, I'm not good, but I know what I'm doing, you know. Crazy.
Or hopscotch or jump rope or all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just almost like a lost art, lost knowledge.
Really, truly, man. That's incredible, man. So as we were talking about earlier, you know, you're saying like, you know, now we got all this kind of stuff available at our hands, you know, for production and things like that. So your music has a very distinct, real chill, easy listening vibe to it. So what are the kind of tools and stuff that you like to use to give your music that specific sound when you're doing the production aspect?
Okay, so as far as the production aspect, I honestly have to use a lot of de-esser because I kind of have a mild lisp. But other than that, it's a little bit of compression, some chorus here and there, but I try to keep everything as, you know, tame as possible. I don't want it to ever sound like it's a robot or something, you know, rapping. I don't rely on auto-tune at all. A lot of the time, actually, I do like three track recording. So I'll have my main vocal and then 2 underdubs underneath it. So a lot of the time, whenever, you know, I'm singing or rapping or something, I'm trying to harmonize with myself. And that's honestly where I feel like my distinct kind of like sound comes from, but also my voice. A lot of people just say that my voice is very mellow. But what songs did you listen to get to that conclusion as far as like the chillness?
Well, I definitely listened to your most recent release, your mini album that you just released, Oblivion, Elysium. And I mean,
yes, ma'am.
I was just digging it, man. Like, I like abstract art and visionary art and things like that. Same for the music too, you know? So I can see those little clues when I hear that. I'm like, oh, I hear this vernacular. Okay. He's not saying, like, like
exactly
real clear communication kind of thing. And you're not breaking any time within your thought of your rapping. Like every word is.
And if I am, it's like contributing to the other side, but in a different kind of like thought process.
Yes. No, like I was like, and this cat isn't punching in. Like everything is on the tip of his tongue, like right there, just like coming through real nice.
Oh yeah. I try to, man. I feel like I don't know. I just try to be as transparent, as real as possible, you know, not necessarily that constitutes like you being a real person, but you know, I just, like I said earlier, I don't even use autotune. Like, I just think that it's fake, you know, why? But you know, I don't shame other people who do. Just for me personally, like I'd rather, I don't know. It's interesting, you know, like I grew up on the Beatles and I grew up on Aerosmith and I grew up on all this old classic music, you know, and there are imperfections here and there, you know, like most of the recording stuff that they were working with back in the day was just almost prehistoric to what we're working with now, you know? So, I mean, even the fact that records are a nostalgic item, you know, you can hear the bumps in it, you know? So as much as a perfectionist as I am, I, you know, try to include those kind of things because I feel like they add character.
No, definitely. Yeah. I mean, giving the layers in the music production is essential because otherwise it's just, regardless of, I mean, you can be as beautiful sounding vocal as you want, but without the added elements, those layers to it.
That just, resonance.
Yeah. You're not doing the vocals any justice.
Yeah.
Excellent. So tell us, what was the inspiration behind your recent album, Oblivion, Elysium?
Oblivion / Elysium. So I actually, a couple of questions ahead is Tartarus, but it is, I'm making like a trilogy anthology album this year. And it's from the aspect, have you ever read about Dante's Inferno?
Yes. Yes, that movie scared the crap out of me too.
Yeah. Well, it's basically Dante's Inferno, but from the aspect of like Supah Sayin, you know, not necessarily being a rapper, but just being a human being and living on Earth and like experiencing that, you know. And one of the things that, you know, my ideals, you know, Buddhism teaches is that once we leave this place, you know, things will be better, you know, and a lot of other lifestyles / religions teach that as well. You know, Earth, it really seems to be a pretty crazy place lately. So the first album, Tartarus, is kind of alluding to the fact that, you know, Earth is a manifestation of hell. And then once we get past it, you know, we'll be in Elysium. But to get to that Elysium, we have to die or be destroyed, Oblivion, you know. So that was the thought process behind that. And honestly, the songs on Oblivion / Elysium, I don't know, they tell the story, but they're also their own separate entities as well. You know, like a divulgence is just me being tired of the world and not really caring about the fact that people don't want to hear bad things, because sometimes people need to hear bad things for things to get better. So divulgence is me just talking from my personal aspect and talking my shit. And then the second song, Oblivion, it's more like, hey, wake up, open your eyes, look at around you, like see everything that's going on, please, because you're not the only person on this world. I'm not the only person on this world. You know, I would really, really enjoy it if my kids and my kids' kids could enjoy this beautiful Earth. But if we don't wisen up now, that won't be a reality then, or it'll be a reality then, just more, you know, sufferable.
Wow.
You know, I don't know. Having a kid really, really changed my life. I thought about that kind of stuff, but I thought about it in the self-interest, you know, the ego. But now it's like the same thought process, but in a different shade of light completely. You know, like, who cares about me? I could die tomorrow. Is my kid going to be okay? Is my kid's kids going to be able to like breathe or have water or, you know, be in stable situations? So that's more of what that song is about. And then also, you know, just like global warming. I know a lot of people don't believe in it, but, you know, it's getting pretty crazy out there. Mm-hmm. Getting pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. Ice caps melting, you know, I don't know if anybody for that. So Oblivion is like the first half, and then Elysium is like the second half. So Oblivion, dealing with the destruction, not only like the destruction of the world, but destruction of self. And then acceptance is, just accepting the fact that maybe I can say things, maybe I can do things to, eliminate that on my part. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's got to be a collective effort. And if it's not a collective effort, then I just need to accept the fact that it's going to be how it is and move on with my life. And then Elysium is that moving on with my life. And, once you're past the physical plane, I mean, would you really care about the physical plane anymore? Not necessarily that you become like a heartless monster, but like you don't exist there anymore. So you don't really have to deal with it. And they also say that time is relative. So, once you leave, it could be like literally nanoseconds before all of your family shows up or whoever, So dwelling on the past is not essential in that kind of dimensional space, just because it doesn't matter, or at least from my perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, science is not something to joke about, bro. I mean, call it what you want, but it's there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it makes
even sometimes it borders on the lines of like modern day magic. The fact that they've decoded the genome, the fact that they've been genetically modifying organisms for the last 60 years. It's pretty insane. CRISPR, have you ever heard about that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. The fact that CRISPR is even a thing, in the next 20 years, somebody has multiple sclerosis whenever they're born, boom, put them in the CRISPR machine. They're good to go for the rest of their life. They don't have any genetic mutations or malfunctions or anything because CRISPR cuts it out and then replaces it.
Wow.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's pretty insane. There's this YouTube channel called Kertojan. And I mean, some of the stuff that they put out is, a little far-fetched, but they're more hypothetical in some areas than not. But one of the best videos, in my opinion, was them talking about the stuff that they're doing with CRISPR. And in the next 20 years, we already have designer babies to a certain extent. You can't like make it 100%, how you want, but you can change their eye color, you can change their hair color and stuff like that. But it's going to get to the point in the future, if they allow it, where people could, you take the DNA sequence from a bat and you give a person bat wings, fully functional bat wings, or, you make their jaw able to exert the same amount of pressure as like a crocodile or whatever, If it's allowed, it'll be really, really crazy. It'll be really crazy if we even get to that point.
Oh man, that reminds me of that movie Tusk. I was like,
yeah,
that was crazy. Oh no, I'm okay, thank you.
That was awesome. Did you see Johnny Depp in that?
Yes, I did.
A lot of people don't even realize that that's him, and I'm like, it's just the nose.
Yeah,
it's just the nose.
Yeah, they put that fake clay on there.
Yeah, I had read an article that the director wanted it to look like a phallus. Yeah.
Well, it's his movie, I guess.
Right. Justin Long, though, he did a great job, I believe. I haven't ever seen him in something it was, comedically horrifying, but at the same time, he did a very good job about being serious in that role. A lot of emotion, especially whenever he finds out all of the nefarious things. Tusk.
Yeah.
God.
Not what I was expecting from Silent Bob, but that's why he's Silent Bob.
Exactly. But, honestly, like, I feel like more creators should be like that. More creators should go out of the way to make things that haven't been made before. That's one of the things that me and my wife get upset about all the time, especially with like streaming services or movies. Because, we watched all these classic movies and it feels like they're just recycling, or, Disney put out Buzz Lightyear, and it's just like, I mean, that's pretty cool. I actually watched the movie. It was really good. But in the same aspect, it's like milking, they're just milking everything dry. Before you know it, they're going to have a Woody movie, and it's going to be all cowboy pokey Woody. And I just don't know what to think about it. The fact that Jurassic Park is on its like 6th movie,
Well, in their defense, they have to catch up to Saw. Saw has about 10 movies, so Jurassic Park.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. And people used to think that was cringe.
Oh,
but
man.
That first Saw movie, though, gosh, that was a game changer. Game changer. Oh, my God. This could actually happen if somebody was very advanced in engineering.
Yes.
And psychological torture.
Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. That's why I don't work in law enforcement or the army, because I'm too honest. So if they're like, have you guys been giving people this, that, and the other? I'll be like, like,
maybe. I need to go to the bathroom real quick.
Right? Like, there's a window in that bathroom, right? Okay, I'll be back.
I just need some fresh air.
Yeah, exactly. I promise I'll be back. So you said that you were leaving us little bits of gold, little secrets here, okay? Because your recent album, you said, is part of
an anthology project. Yeah, the trilogy anthology.
Yes, because you released two other mini albums this year as well, including Tartarus and also Mariana Records Collection 1. So those all kind of part of the anthology?
So Tartarus and Oblivion / Elysium it's 1 and 2. And then Mariana Records Collective is a joint collective that me and a couple of friends put together before I was signed with my label. I was trying to start a mini record label, at home record label, but I've kind of put that on the back burner for right now. I just got a lot of other things going on as far as my record label. Mm-hmm. Also, a lot of my members on that tape were from Alabama, and so it's kind of hard to work with them all the time, and their kids too. A lot of the people on there didn't have microphone setups or even a laptop to work on, so it was just me doing a lot of free work and then assembling it together as a tape. But I did put a couple of songs on there as well.
But hey,
just a little stupid touch.
But no, from what you've done, though, because I was listening to all of your stuff, though, done. I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell if you did it in a big studio or a small studio. The production came out very well. Yes.
Oh, that is amazing to hear. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. Sometimes it feels like people blow me smoke. So whenever I'm messaging my people and stuff like that, I trust that they like it. But I don't know if they like it because of me, or if it, because of the production value. So to hear that is very meaningful. I really, really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like my mixing and producing have been getting a lot better lately. That's actually what kind of leveled me up, elevated me as far as everything. I didn't want to do it for the longest time, but I finally, started cracking into it. For the longest time, I thought I could just slap a song together, do nothing with it, and it'd be okay. But I realized the error of my ways now. It was good for what it was at the time. With very limited knowledge of what I was doing, it was good. But everything that's coming out now is just on a completely different level. Even as far as my ears, the production quality from Mariana's Records Collective to Oblivion / Elysium is different, just because I learned a couple more tools and tricks here and there in between that time. But I've got a commercial album coming out pretty soon, and that's not a part of the anthology, but I'm also going to finish off the anthology this year. And I'm actually going to tell you the name of the tape as well, because I've been just peppering it, but it's going to be called Infinity.
Excellent.
Yeah. So there's the Tartarus, the manifestation of hell, Oblivion / Elysium, the destruction, and then the afterglow, the heaven, and then boom, infinity.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Right? It's going to be my little magnum opus, for real, for real. I feel like I'm going to be driving 2 of them this year. 2 of them, the commercial album and then that last free album, Infinity. And I'm going to be putting that on my SoundCloud and everything too. I don't know. I got the record deal in the midst of me planning all this stuff. And so I really wanted to finish it out, but I also felt like I needed to give the record label something a little more than that. Cause the first tape, Tartarus, is a very like dark oriented, not only just thought process wise, but like sounding as well. Boom bap, trap type beats. And then it continues into Oblivion / Elysium. Oblivion is more of that dark sound, but then Elysium is like a completely different landscape almost, and I wanted to continue that sound in Infinity, but I didn't feel like that would be good for the commercial album. So I put that on the hold for a little bit. I'm going to finish this commercial album and then I'm going to get right back to that.
Okay. So what is the difference between your commercial? I know your next album, Infinity, is going to be part of the anthology, but what is the commercial album? What is the special difference behind that one?
So the commercial album is the album that I have. It's what my deal right now consists of, as far as the record label. They don't have a problem with me dropping the last part of the anthology in the trilogy, but I kind of want to keep it to my roots. So I'm not going to be putting it on Spotify or anything like that. But that's the difference between that and the commercial album. Commercial album is going to be on all streaming platforms. And then the end of the anthology, the end of the trilogy, is going to be on YouTube and SoundCloud specifically, just as like a fan service, Mm-hmm. There are people who've been following me for like years now, so just wanted to give them something special. And I mean, not a lot of people are going to know about it unless, all the people who are watching right now go and check it out. But, I don't know, just little pieces of gold here and there.
But I really like that, man, because it's like you burning the candle at both sticks, burning the candle at both wicks, but
all the time.
But you're like, I want to do this not just for me, but for the fans too. Like that's really cool.
I care about my fans a lot. I've actually, like I said, a lot of my fans have been following me for a while, but in gaining a better understanding of who I am as an artist, also sonically, who I am as an artist, I had a lot of help from them, and new fans and old fans, like I am the type of person who believes in like old school marketing. I believe in new school marketing as well, but I feel like old school marketing is more genuine. Mm-hmm. So I would literally go into my contact list or, I'd post a picture and whoever looked at it that day, boom, 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 I'm sending this specific piece to all of them. And I want to hear exactly what they say about it. And we're going to have like a good 5-minute to 20-minute conversation about what you think about it, So, I just try to keep it a little more personal on that aspect. I know that it won't always be achievable, but I don't know. Well, I can,
Exactly. That's so chill, man. I really respect that, man.
I don't know. I just, like I said earlier, I try to be super, super real and super transparent. And I feel like, I don't know, it'd be an injustice if I were to just be like, oh, now I've got a record deal. I'm only going to be dropping stuff on Spotify from now on. Screw SoundCloud. And it's just like, no, SoundCloud is, what gave me my platform originally. Like even right now, I have more plays on my SoundCloud than I do my Spotify. I just got my Spotify, and the streaming services. But at the same time, that's where I really made it. I made the craft. I made my style. I made my flow. I made myself on SoundCloud. So I'm just really, proud of that. Also, I told you about the tips and tricks of the industry. So one of the things that all these big rappers were talking about is like growing your fan base and actually having a fan base before you blow up or you pop or get famous or whatever, because after the first couple of years, if you don't have a loyal fan base, you're just going to be in the dirt basically because of the trends. People follow trends. So if you're not trending anymore, boom, you're not trending anymore. And, it's people have found success coming back and stuff like that. But I would much rather just have a really rock solid fan base before I even attempted to blow up, or anything of that nature, to go viral or anything, because such longevity, that's the key. That's the goal. That's why Jay-Z is still around. That's why, if Tupac is still alive, he longevity, it's about the end goal, not right here, right now. Drake as well. Drake's been around for almost like a little more than a decade. And, I look up to the people like that as far as like business, not only artistry and music, but, just lifestyle. The way that they play the game is so proficient that they're able to keep on being in the game way after, don't even have to drop tapes here and there because they're living off the money that they've gained. They're putting the money that they gained from back in the day back in, I don't know. Just thinking about it all. Like I said, back in the day, I used to be super obsessed on artistry. So now it's like a good left-right medium, got both sides working.
Yes. I can tell that you definitely been paying attention to a lot more than just your immediate responsibilities, which is impressive.
I try. I feel like it's a responsibility that everybody in the world should take upon themselves, not necessarily to like the degree that I do or to a very obscure degree, but if you're not learning something daily, you're stagnant. And I just don't feel like that's a good thing at all. Even learning something perspective wise, like taking yourself out of your shoes and putting yourself into somebody else's shoes and like thinking about how they are dealing with things or think about how they would think about it, is even, acceptable in that kind of sense to me, You
just got to think, man. Just got to think. Use that noggin, man, because why not?
Exactly. I'm talking about musical inspirations and business inspirations and stuff like that. But like, there's a lot to learn in this world, and not even just from this age. You can go back 50 years, you can go back 100 years, you can go back fucking thousands of years and find things that are still very, very true today. Like the fact that, modern mathematics, basically in the middle of the desert, a long time ago, but we still stand on some of these principles, geometry, algebra, like, I don't know. It's just interesting. Very interesting. A lot of people don't take the time, and I feel like they should, but I appreciate those who do, for sure.
Yeah. Because oh man, we could talk all day about this, but this planet that we live on, man, this whole universe, man, it's wild.
Yeah, it is.
It's so wild.
Yeah, it is. I was reading something the other day about the Big Bang maybe unconfirmed now because of new information. And, I don't want to get into all that too much, but I immediately read it. I was like, what? This thing that I've known to be true my whole entire life is now possibly a fallacy? What? But that's also why I like to stay up on those kind of topics and, just like kind of keep my eyes open because things change all the time as well, especially, Math, maybe not, but as far as like, AV and stuff like that, there, new technology all the time, new cables, new software all the time. You constantly have to be updating yourself or you're getting left in the past,
Yeah.
So just try to keep my eyes open to everything that I can.
Indeed.
Especially the things that interest me. But
Indeed, man. So how has your experience been so far working with your record company, Broken Records Music Club? Like
I love them. I love them so much. Me and my label manager have actually developed a really, really awesome bond. He's just a good guy. He's a really good guy. His name's T.H.E. First interview meeting / meeting that we had, it just went very, very organic and natural, kind of like this, just having casual conversation and, trying to talk about business at one point, but then slowly shifting into casual conversation. And I don't know, I just really like the environment. They came to me and wanted me specifically just because of the things that I talk about and who I try to personify myself as, because it aligns with them a lot, speaking your truth, living up to your potential, making very, very creative, or just like having a creative outlet, honestly. But also, the aspect of Broken Records, we're coming for glory.
Yes. And they did an event, promoted an event for you not too long ago, back in July, and it was called a Supah Sayin Exposition, which was 4 days.
Ma'am.
Yes, it was 4 days of you and your music, man. So how was that event?
It was really, really good. It went so well that we've been keeping it up weekly since then. So originally Thursday was a lyrical breakdown. Saturday or Friday was a live, like just kind of like updating people about what was going on with my artistry and everything in my life at the time. And then Saturday was a segment I called Supah Slaps. And I put up 5 songs that I just really resonated with at the time. And then Sunday was a glimpse of like behind the scenes work. And the reason why we did that is because we came to the conclusion that like at the time I wasn't posting all that much. I was posting on my story, but I needed more content for my feed, so just getting into a regular schedule of like posting was a good thing for me. It keeps me very, very focused. There's always something going on. There's always something to do, but it also gives me structure for the longest time. And a lot of the reason why it took so long to get to this point is because I was so unstructured. I would work on something here and there and drop it, pick it back up later, and just having a schedule and having Twit, that's what we call him, Twit, Tyler Witt, but also Broken Records Music Club. It just keeps me structured, not so chaotic. It gives my chaotic energy I don't know how to express it, but a container to be within. Mm-hmm. So I'm still chaotic, but it's contained, and manicured and polished.
Okay. Yeah. You got a nice little molded vase so you can just go crazy.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Oh, Lord. You preaching. Oh, man. I need to take a couple pages out of your book, honey, because that's what I need to do. I mean,
it's hard sometimes. It's so hard sometimes. My mind's like literally all the time. It's just going. My wife, she'll be like, "What are you thinking about right now?" I'm like, "Penguins in Antarctica."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What?" Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something that floated into my brain, stayed there for a little bit.
But
whenever I do get into the music, I don't know. It's like if it's smooth, there's no breakage. I finish it and everything gets wrapped up. But then sometimes whenever life gets you down, or I'm having like writer's block or something like that, I, used to get frustrated and I like put it down and either never pick it back up or pick it back up way, 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 way later, to the point where people weren't even like conscious of like what I was showing them, So like also having the structure keeps that from happening as well. People are constantly updated about what I'm doing, where I'm going, the moves that I'm making, so it keeps that structured and it keeps me structured.
And that's brilliant. That's brilliant because it's like, yeah, you're a recording artist. It's a fun job, but it's still a serious job. And it's when you got to keep maintaining,
Yep.
yourself, your energy, your personal life,
Mm-hmm.
So I tip my hat
money, the equipment that it takes to run, all of that, all of it. It's insane. It's insane. So many hats.
Yes. But you're doing the thing, man. You doing it.
Well, I got lots of help. I got lots of love around me. The people that got my back, they got it wholeheartedly, especially my label. I love my label so much. Love them. Anytime that I want to text my manager, it is never an inconvenience. It's never like, oh, business, it's like, hope you're having a great day, man, and he hits me back with it, and we'll just shoot the shit or, tackle our problems together. I don't know. It feels like I always told people I wanted, some of the people that I've worked with, they thought that I was egotistical and I wanted like the whole Batman Robin cliche. But honestly, more than anything in my whole entire life, I just wanted a team of Batman or a team of Power Rangers,
like,
exactly.
please, like, oh Lord. Yes. Well said, sir. Well said. Well, thank you so very much for joining us today, man.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I love talking to you. It was a good interview.
Same, man. Thank you, man. I like your vibe, man. Yeah, man.
Always.
Yeah, man.
Always too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard for me to.
Oh, that kind of energy, that is priceless, because like you were saying, this world is crazy, okay? But to keep that kind of energy and mindset like you have, that is worth more than gold.
You got to stay positive because if you focus on the negative, then you just become negative. You get jaded to the fact and then you get into these cycles, Oh, why should I care about my carbon footprint? Oh, what does it matter if I'm throwing away my plastic? Oh, like, who cares if I buy things from China? Like, and I try to stay as humble, but also aware of like myself and what's going on as possible. I don't know. I want the best for our species. And I want the best for the rest of the species on this earth as well that haven't necessarily been given the same kind of chance that we have. Just being the apex predator kind of makes you top hoss.
Agreed. No, we need to think about the future, like for real. Like now is important. Don't get me wrong, but let's not be jerks and let's leave something for the rest of the people to have too when we're not
exactly.
In this earth.
Let's not pollute our oceans with oil, crude oil, or put huge nuclear reactors on the side of a tiny island and not expect tsunamis to just completely wipe it out and dump radioactive waste in the ocean. Maybe don't throw away everything. Recycle as much as you can. Use your old clothing, like,
I mean, just help somebody out,
Exactly.
Help yourself out, help someone else out.
And that's the thing about it too. I'll like never shame somebody for not doing the things that I do, but like with my life specifically, I just want to be that kind of person. I just want to go out of my way to do those kinds of things because even if the rest of everybody else doesn't, at least I was, and then my lineage will learn that and keep it up, so maybe hopefully one day everyone will do it, the 6 degrees of separation, Kevin Bacon,
Indeed. Exactly, man. So do you have any last little bit of advice for the listeners?
Think for yourself, stand up and be real. Just do what you love. Don't step on anybody's toes. Just try to always mind your P's and Q's. And don't support totalitarian governments.
Well, you heard it from the man.
In any kind of facet.
Well, you heard it from the man yourself, all right? Stay woke. Read a book, okay? And think of what you're going to leave behind, because it's going to be immortalized. Okay?
Yep.
Well, thank you.
Whether it's in the history books or a smoldering rubble.
Yeah. Okay. R.I.P. What was it? Oh my God, I can't remember the little country that was covered in ash that starts with a P. It's in there somewhere. But yeah, the point is, be wary of your imprint, y'all. Okay.
Exactly. And I mean, a lot of this stuff we've learned from it before. We're just keeping up the same actions. The fact that there are countries nowadays putting concentration camps up. We already learned about that back in the day. It's an awful, terrible thing. Shouldn't support those kind of people to begin with. But stay groovy, y'all. Thank you, Houston Element Podcast. I want to shout out my record label, Broken Records Music Club. Thank you so much. Thank you, Missy. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, man, for joining us. It was a pleasure getting to know you a little bit better and getting to meet with you on Zoom.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. I love it.
And thank you all for listening this week. And look into the comments to where you can learn more about listening to Supah Sayin and checking out some of his shows. Fort Worth ain't that far, y'all. Okay?
Yep. I got a upcoming concert on September 16th. It's a whole month away. And it's going to be at the Ridgely Theater. And as far as Supah Sayin, I'm streaming on all platforms. YouTube is kind of like my passion piece. I do all the videos and stuff by myself. And then OG Supah Sayin is on SoundCloud. So keep where you can. Also, weekly segments on IG. Stay tuned.
You heard it, man. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.